Hello, my keto family and community. Here we are. It's 2019. So what are you going to do about it? Hmm? Nothing? Keep doing the same thing that you've been doing? Well, that's great. If it's consistent and steady, you feel better. It's 100% of whatever it is that you're doing. 100% keto, 100% carnivish, 100% carnivore. You got all that holiday crap out of the house, all those tins and bags and platters and little aluminum foil containers filled with grains and sugars. Everything is like out. And you might be saying, I really mean it this time. I do. I'm not going to nibble. I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to do it when nobody else is looking. I really mean it this time. Because why? Because all the other times you really meant it too. If intention counted, you would get high 5 points because your intention is to really mean it this time when you say you are going to do some of the things that we do that I say are in our toolkit, and they work for me, they work for others, and we just keep doing them. We wake up, and hopefully the bones of our food for that day are there. We finish up, we complete it, we look and see what's in the fridge, or we add it to our shopping list, and we just go about our day. Food is not going to rule us the way that it used to. It's going to be a big part because we're adhering to it, but it's there. It's committed to maybe your tracker like me, or maybe some sort of paper journal, whatever it is that works for you. If in your head and not using a kitchen scale have worked for you, then keep doing what works. But if you're like a lot of us, we find that to keep our addiction, and my addict is called Ms. Slick, from doing the, all the things that she will do to get me to cheat, to fall, to fail. Gotta, kind of push her off and just keep doing what I'm doing. Yes, it's boring. Consistency is incredibly boring. If you've lost your mojo, if you lost your consistency and your boring food plan and went so far off the rails, you don't even know if GPS can bring you back to the rails, then you pray for a consistent, boring day. And if you're a food addict like me, you know exactly what that feels like. It's like, how did this happen? How did I get here? I had just one bite off that person's plate. I mean, it wasn't supposed to be a big deal. I do it all the time. Oh, you do it all the time. Well, at least you're aware that you're doing it all the time, right? Awareness is a big part of getting your food house in order. Yeah, it is. And so if you've been messing up your progress by just doing it all the time, a little bite here, a nibble there, while I'm fixing the other person's plate who's not keto, well, yeah, that's kind of no integrity, right? And you like to have some integrity with your food. And if you don't think that integrity with your food is going to work and spill over into lots of other areas in your life, then you're not really paying attention to that part. Because who's going to benefit from you being consistent and boring and every day the same? Who benefits? Well, you're the big benefactor of that, right? It's all for you. It's going to make you just smile on the inside. It's going to make you happy. Is it going to be white knuckling or a little bit of like crazy as you get used to it because you weren't used to it? Yeah, there's a transitional stage. Nothing like consistency and boring with some tools from your toolkit for keto is going to be easy if you've been out there being sloppy and messy and just doing as you want to do. You know, some people call that, I don't know, they call it messy keto, dirty keto, lazy keto. I don't know. I don't do it. I can't do it. Because I got this food addict, like right here, pushing me to do the wrong thing. And I have to keep on keeping on with the next right thing. I have to weigh, I have to measure, I have to be mindful, and then I have to execute it. And I have one meal a day, and it suits me just fine. For other people, they do 2 meals a day, maybe 3 meals a day. I don't know. I'm not in your life or food plan, but I'm here to hear about it and offer suggestions about what works for me. This isn't Simon Says or Sarah Says, and you must do it my way or you're out of the game. This is finding what your groove is. And if it's boring and you get restless, I urge you to just think where you were pre-keto, when your life was a freakadeakin' mess with food and with other areas. If you don't think cleaning up your food first and doing things like tracking and measuring is going to benefit you, and then all of a sudden the ingredients in the items that you've tracked and measured, they begin to matter. Because it's like, why am I going to put this crap in my body? Sarah has been going on and on about maybe I should look at these items, and I don't even have to say them. You know what they are if you've watched me long enough. And so maybe it's time to look at it. You know, I've been holding on to these things as crutches, and there's nothing wrong with a crutch. It's just if you've been 5 years with the crutch, maybe it's time to wean into something else. I know that I did it with a lot of items that I now have and a lot of items that I no longer have. It's just what happens when you start cleaning it up. And then maybe that could spill into your financial health. Maybe it could spill into your physical health. All kinds of different things happen when you begin to tighten like one area. You know, it's kind of funny. On our street, there's this guy, and he has this beautiful boat, and he has this regular car. I mean, it's not new. It probably was expensive when it was new. It's not like it's a classic car, you know, with a special plate or anything like that. But he covers up his car, and then in the winter or in the spring and fall, with all the sap from trees and all of the stuff that happens, maybe even the salt from the salt air, because I know I had a convertible Volkswagen like 40 years ago, and it got ruined by the salt air because we live on Cape Cod. And he doesn't cover the boat, and it makes Greg crazy because it's a very nice boat, and it would probably cost 20 grand to replace it. You know, it's not a yacht. It's just a boat that sits on a trailer that you could take fishing, you know, with a motor. And it makes him crazy. And it's like, but he's taking care of the car. And it's like, it's just so funny because it's why that one and not the other one, right? So sometimes the forest and the trees get so befuddled that we don't see that, you know, seeking out organic, like lettuces or grass-fed beef, how important that is. And yet, you know, we're doing things like having vitamins with like unknown fillers in them, or we're still having the beverages or additions to beverages that come from a chemical lab. You know, there's nothing organic or original about them. So it's just kind of funny. And it's like nothing I haven't done. I've done the same. You know, as you get better, but once you know better, you kind of do better, right? So it just is kind of interesting. And this is the time of year that a lot of us begin to look at things. And the best place to start is with yourself, with your keto items or your carnivore items or your carnivish items, what it is that you have. How do you do it? Sometimes cutting down on something, sometimes weaning something, sometimes adding it to your list and just going about your business. It's always fascinating to hear how people do their keto food plan. You know, are you net carbs and you'd love to be total carbs? You don't have an idea how to do it. And then when you start to do it, you go, Oh my God, I've got 47 total carbs? Yeah, because you were doing 100 net carbs per day and you were squeezing in a lot of keto junk stuff, a lot of those products. And it's like all of a sudden, it's like, and you're spending so much money on those things. And it's like, you don't need exogenous, I put in parentheses, ridiculous fats, you know? You don't need those things anymore. Get the fatty cuts of meat and enjoy it that way. Do have some butter on your veggies if you have veggies. Do cook your eggs in ghee or a good Kerrygold or other type of organic butter. You know, do have those sort of things, but don't be like, you know, having, I don't know, you know what I mean. I'm not telling you not to. I'm just saying look at it, because sometimes we don't even see how that goes for us and what little changes we can make. I knocked the fats out of my coffee. So now I just have 14, 15 grams of heavy whipping cream in my coffee. And so it's amazing how many calories that I have to play with my macros. I upped my protein. Never felt better. Who knew? How many times did I hear about an older woman should have more protein? A million gazillion before I changed and went, oh, okay. So is your mind open? You know, is your mind open in the month of January? We're going to be flooded with all these keto 30-day wonders. Get ready for them. They've got really great graphics and great editing skills, but, you know, they've got an hour and a half into keto and they're 23 years old. They're fun to watch. It's entertaining, but do they have the, you know, the slow turtle consistency of doing their program over and over again, showing healthy and scale happy results, right? Hi, Miss Joyce. I know that you have a happy scale app. So just be aware of what's going on out there. Don't be swayed by the young. You know, I stopped eating SAD foods, standard American diet foods, and I lost 18 pounds in the first 10 days. Yeah, and you're 25 years old and you were eating 4,000 calories a day of grains and sugars. So of course that drop in weight, I heard somebody say it's faux weight, FAUX weight. It's not really true, you know, being on a keto program. When somebody that's doing keto loses a pound or a pound and a half at my age, there's a parade. There is. It's in that town. It might not be recorded, but there's a parade, because that is true weight loss, right? But when somebody is young and they come into keto and they've been doing the crapola diet, they might have even been doing Weight Watchers, you know, and then having their 10 fruits a day like I used to. It looks like real weight on the scale, but they need to get into their keto carnivore program day after day after day. When things change, when you have weight stalls, but I don't call them weight stalls, I call that the inside job of keto. There's all kinds of stuff that's going to be a little bit different. Your body recomposes in a whole different way. I've seen that with people that have success, long-term success, with older bodies, older metabolisms, and they do something day after day after day, and their bodies change. And some of them, you know, I've seen some of them with their weight looks like it's 120 and they weigh in at 165, but their body has just recomposed with muscle or whatever it is, just getting more and more solid. It's wonderful. But you're going to find out if you keep doing it day after day after day, and you don't have that petulance of like it needs to be by Friday. No, we're not in it for the short term. We're in it for the long haul. And that's why we show up here every day for our morning briefing with our coffee, and we just trust the process. Trust that process. It's going to be different if you're younger. How do I know? Because I was younger once, and I knew what it was like to lose that quick 10 or 15 pounds. Yeah, it takes a while when we get older, but it's doable with keto. And it's doable with keto when you start doing total calories and stop having any of those keto food items that you see in stores. If you're still buying those, take a step back and just say, do I really need these? I call them, as most of you know, wigs, candy bars with wigs, all that high protein, keto, extra fat, tablespoons of this. Just be careful. Those things, they might be crutches or a better bad choice when you first start, as you transition from a totally horrible food plan to doing a keto with healthier choices. But then it's time to take a look at those and step back and opt for better foods, better quality of meat, better quality of veggies, better quality of oils too. So trust the process. It's January. Why not? This is a great time to make little tweaks that can make a big difference. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto, and I do under 20 total. Usually I do under 10 total, but I call it under 20. But yes, I do. And then if you want that one-on-one coaching and just get rid of the bad habits and get some good ones, even if it's not for the rest of your life, it's just until you can settle down and have the dust settle and just get into that. Every day is the same. That's a blessing. That's called serenity, especially if you had a busy, chaotic, crazy food plan before. Just the regular, ordinary, can count on it kind of thing. The way that we meet up here every day and just do the regular, can count on, consistent food plan. It works if you work it and trust that process. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto. See you the next time. Bring your coffee.